We've made it. The final four of the baseball playoffs are here. Houston and Texas, Philadelphia, Arizona. What a ride it's been to this point, and now it's time to predict who is going to advance to the World Series and take home the ultimate prize. Let's go. We're going to kick things off in the National League because a lot of people are probably out there saying, well, this is going to be easy. The Philadelphia Phillies are going to roll into the World Series once again, and Arizona really doesn't have a chance. And when you take a look at what Arizona has done in the playoffs, you've seen they have beaten good teams in the Brewers and the Dodgers. More importantly, they have figured out a way to beat good starting pitching. They beat up on Clayton Kershaw. They beat Corbin Burns. Bobby Miller didn't last very long against them either. Neither did Freddie Peralta. So Arizona has found a way to consistently hit home runs in big situations in these playoffs. And let's be realistic, Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly have been fantastic. Brandon Pfaadt is someone I'm going to be talking about a lot in the next few years. Pfaadt has really shown some improvements here in the playoffs and been very, very good for the Diamondbacks as a 3 guy. I don't know who pitches in the 4 spot, and that worries me for Arizona in a 7-game series where they're likely going to need a 4 starter. Now, you might just say, well, they'll go with a bullpen game. Maybe Ryan Nelson comes out of the bullpen and starts a game. But if you're going with Pfaadt and Nelson, that means you're basically going back-to-back bullpen games, and I don't know if the D-backs bullpen is deep enough for this situation. Offensively, we've seen all kinds of growth. Corbin Carroll has found the pop that he's been missing in the second half of the season. Gabriel Moreno has really stepped up. Christian Walker hit a big home run, and he may be a very big key in this series for the D-backs, and Ketel Marte keeps doing his thing. The problem is there's too many dead spots in the D-backs lineup. They're not getting enough offensive production from Alek Thomas consistently, and they're not getting enough production from whoever is playing third base, whether it's Longoria, Peterson, Rivera. They need a big third baseman to step up and deliver some key hits for them. When you take a look at the flip side of the Phillies, whoo boy, are they on a roll. And the best hitter might not be Bryce Harper. I would not want to be pitching to Nick Castellanos right now. He is on some kind of tear. Phillies lineup is loaded. Bryson Stott has been hitting the ball well, as has Brandon Marsh, and he's a guy that I watch out for in this series as well. The depth of this Philly lineup is just incredible. On the pitching side, they have been very, very good as well, based around Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola. Ranger Suarez has been okay, but I compare him kind of to Brandon Pfaadt and the guy who's going to be a bullpen guy. I don't know who becomes the 4th guy for the Philly rotation either. That'll be very interesting. They are at least in a better situation here where I think Ranger Suarez is someone who could go deep into a game if asked. I don't see that for Pfaadt at this point in time. So the big step here is going to be, can the D-backs figure out a way to get some hits, score some runs, and win a game against either Wheeler or Nola? And they have been pitching excellently. Yes, Aaron Nola had his struggles during the regular season, but in these playoffs, he has been very, very good. And the offense has been very good. Now, you compare defense to defense. I'm taking the D-backs defense all day long. Let's be realistic here. Their defense all around is going to be better. We have 2 of the best throwing catchers in all of baseball, so I wonder how that's going to affect the running game, especially JT Realmuto matching up against the speed of the D-backs. What a series this is going to be. The question is going to be, how does the D-backs bullpen match up against the Phillies? And man, that Phillies bullpen looks loaded. They have been pitching very, very well. Jose Alvarado, Jeff Hoffman, Craig Kimbrell, Sir Anthony Dominguez. They have all kinds of guys in the back end of that bullpen that can really shut a game down. And look at Matt Strom finished off the Braves. So they are loaded at the back end of that bullpen, and I think that's where they have a huge advantage. Now, the D-backs can squeak out a game here or there against Wheeler and Nola. They're going to be in this series. But if Nola and Wheeler shut down the D-backs, this could end very quickly. My heart says D-backs. My prediction says Phillies in 5. Flipping over to the American League, and what a series this is going to be. Houston and Texas, 2 of the best offensive teams in baseball, 2 of the better pitching staffs in baseball, minus that Rangers bullpen at times. This is going to be very, very interesting. As it comes to Houston, I really like where they're set up in their starting rotation. Framber Valdez, Justin Verlander are definitely getting the ball for games 1 or 2. Then they have the ability to roll out Christian Javier and Jose Urquidy. And then they can fill in the possibility with some short games and using that stellar bullpen that they have. Offensively, the guy I'm really impressed with right now who's breaking out in the playoffs and got all that money, Jose Abreu has finally found his swing and is really doing some damage for the Astros. And when he is swinging the bat, it really lengthens that lineup. Yordan Alvarez is showing that he is one of, if not the best hitters in all of baseball, especially in postseason baseball. And Kyle Tucker and Jose Altuve are just doing their thing. Now, Jeremy Pena hasn't stepped up as much at the bat as last year, but he doesn't really need to. You still have Alex Bregman doing his thing. Michael Brantley continues to use that sweet swing, so there is a lot to like offensively. But like I said, Jose Abreu stepping up is a big part of this team and really lengthens that lineup. The bullpen looks really good. We've seen this type of bullpen from the Astros last few years. They keep rolling out guy after guy. Montero, Neris, all these guys. Ryan Presley has looked very impressive at the back end, as always, shutting it down. So Houston is definitely set up as one of the best Houston teams they've had of the last 7 years. And how about that? The fact they've been in 7 straight LCS championship games is absolutely incredible. Of course, they had Dusty Baker there pulling the strings as manager, so I think Houston is very well set up, and this is going to be a very interesting series. As far as Texas goes, they also have that incredible manager. Bruce Bochy has been here before, and he really understands how to win. So I think that really helps with the shortfalls of that bullpen because Bochy really understands how to get the most out of that Texas bullpen. Starters, they seem to be set up fairly good as well. Jordan Montgomery and Nathan Eovaldi have been throwing the ball really, really well. The wild card here is going to be Max Scherzer. He says he's ready to go. I don't know about that. I really question that. I don't think they're going to give him a long leash and a start whenever that does fall in this series. I do think Scherzer is going to start a game. I'm not a big Scherzer guy, and the last time he faced Houston, they lit him up. So I'd have some worry here on the Texas side because of Max Scherzer. I think Dane Dunning probably gets the 4th game start for them. Again, they're not looking at a bullpen game. Unlike the National League, the American League teams seem really well set up to figure out who their 4 starters are going to be. Yes, there'll be a short hook with some of them, but I fully expect 4 key starters for each team. Offensively, what can you say? Texas has found their groove again. They're hitting home runs. The return of Josh Jung, he seems to be finding that stroke again that led him to being one of the top contenders for American League Rookie of the Year. He's swinging the bat better. Adolis Garcia is swinging the bat better. Corey Seager, Marcus Semien are doing their thing at the top of the lineup. I think there's opportunity here for some speed game for them as well. Martin Maldonado has not thrown the ball as well this year, so maybe there's some opportunities for some Texas stolen bases for some of their speed guys like an Ezekiel Duran, maybe like a Tavares. There is some opportunities there. On the other side, Jonah Heim has the ability to really throw the ball and shut down some of that Houston running game. They don't run a ton, but when they do, Jonah Heim might be one of the best throwers of the baseball as well. So the speed game, in my mind, advantage Texas on that end just because I think Jonah Heim throws the ball better than Martin Maldonado at this point in their careers. The back end of the bullpen really scares me for Texas. It's been good, but it hasn't been relied on for a bunch of innings. If they're not required to throw a bunch of innings, I think this is a very good bullpen. But if they start the starters get knocked around a bit, then we're going to see that bullpen more, and that's when we see the cracks and the flaws in what Texas has built at that back end. This has the makings of a series that could go a long way. This looks like a 6-7 game series. The advantage was Houston during the regular season. I think Texas has figured out a way to beat Houston, though, so we'll see how this plays out. In my mind, this goes 7 games, and I think it's going to be Houston in 7 games. So for me, that would lead us into a rematch of last year's World Series, Houston and Philadelphia. Now, the difference this year is I think Philadelphia is swinging the bats even better than they were last year, and I think they're better prepared in the bullpen. So when it comes down to it, if it's Houston and Philadelphia, my World Series prediction this year is Phillies in 6 games in the World Series. Now, there's other options as well, and I want to spin those as well because the chances of me making another video before that are unlikely. So when it comes down to it, if we have Texas and Philly in the World Series, I would take the Phillies in 6. If we see Arizona make the World Series, if they play Texas, I would like Texas in 6. If they played Houston, I'd actually like Houston in 5 because of some of the differences in starting pitching there. But for me, I think this all plays out as a rematch of last year. So I have the Phillies defeating the Houston Astros in 6 games to take home the 2023 World Series. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of another video here on 3 Up, 3 Down. I appreciate all the support in the channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're following along on your phone to the community tab on YouTube. I'll be posting some other content through the World Series with the potential of another live stream watch party right here on 3 Up, 3 Down. So make sure you are subscribed. As always, make sure you go check out some of my previous videos. Until next time, take care, everyone.